The United Kingdom is ready to send troops and aviation to Ukraine to participate in a peacekeeping mission, stated the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer. Furthermore, London is prepared to form and lead a coalition of partners that could ensure the implementation of a peace agreement. The UK will continue to provide military assistance to Ukraine and will increase economic pressure on Russia, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom assured.
In the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defensive capabilities to deter any future invasion. Fourth, we will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace.
Canada is also considering various ways to support peace in Ukraine after the war ends, including sending troops as part of an international contingent, confirmed Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Canadian military forces could contribute, he noted, adding that Canada has been supporting Ukraine for more than 10 years. During this time, the country has helped train 40,000 Ukrainian servicemen and provided nearly $20 billion in military and economic aid to Kyiv.
Canada has looked at the ways it can best help, and as I've said a few days ago, everything's on the table. We know that the Canadian military has ways that it can contribute. We're not going to get ahead of the discussions on how to keep a peace that isn't yet in place, but Canada will be there and is open to doing what is necessary.
France is also ready to send troops to Ukraine, stated President Emmanuel Macron. According to Volodymyr Zelensky, Turkey is also prepared to join in ensuring Ukraine's security. The peacekeeping mission should become part of the security guarantees for Ukraine after signing a peace agreement with Russia. However, the Kremlin categorically rejects the idea of deploying foreign peacekeeping forces. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russian Federation Sergei Lavrov stated that the presence of NATO troops in Ukraine is unacceptable for Moscow.
Russia has not yet reached a point where it could not say no, but we are doing everything we can to make that moment arrive when it will be forced to agree to the deployment of peacekeepers.
Michael Waltz, the Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs of the United States, believes Russia should agree to the deployment of European peacekeepers in Ukraine.
What I'm saying is this war needs to end, and that's going to take concessions on territory. That's going to take Russian concessions on security guarantees. That's going to take all sides coming to the table, and we are working very hard to drive those negotiations forward.
Discussions on the possible deployment of an international peacekeeping contingent in Ukraine are ongoing, reported Volodymyr Zelensky. There is a clear understanding of where and how many troops are needed, the president of Ukraine noted.
France has initiated a contingent. Britain has said, we are ready to support. 2 armies are ready to speak with me. We have an understanding of where and how many troops from different countries are needed. We have made significant progress in this direction. I believe that in the coming weeks, all of this will be on paper.
The discussion about the deployment of a foreign contingent to Ukraine intensified in November 2024, after Donald Trump's victory in the US presidential election. The idea of a peacekeeping mission in Ukraine was supported in Washington. However, President Trump excluded the involvement of US troops in the mission, stating that responsibility for the continent's security should rest with Europe itself. Reported by Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.
A ceasefire and security guarantees for Ukraine must become a fundamental part of any potential peace agreement currently under discussion among Ukraine's allies. Ukraine needs to be strengthened in its defense capabilities and supported in its resistance to any form of aggression. NATO has announced that the alliance is on track to fulfill its 2025 defense funding plan for Ukraine, amounting to 40 billion euros. After talks with US President Donald Trump, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte confirmed that alliance members will continue to support Ukraine.
On Ukraine, allies are preparing billions more in aid plus contributions to security guarantees. Mark Rutte, NATO Secretary General, on social network X.
Deploying peacekeepers to Ukraine is considered a key element in ensuring future security guarantees. In recent weeks, European countries have intensified discussions about sending Western contingents to Ukraine to oversee a possible future ceasefire. According to Bloomberg sources, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has discussed the potential deployment of Turkish troops to Ukraine with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Turkey has NATO's second-largest army after the United States. Turkey's willingness to help oversee a potential ceasefire is seen as an important step in easing the burden on European allies, who are currently developing plans for a European peacekeeping mission in Ukraine.
Russia didn't give a response to Turkey on the matter of sending forces to Ukraine, although the topic was discussed with Lavrov during his recent visit. A person close to Russian government said, "Turkey backs Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity," according to a Ukrainian official familiar with the talks, adding that Ankara supports peace and security guarantees that are reliable. From the Bloomberg publication,
European participation in the negotiation process is crucial. Overseas, reaching an agreement will be difficult, believes EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy Kaja Kallas. In her view, Europe must play a central role in any deal involving Ukraine.
Why are we in NATO? It is because we are afraid of Russia. And the only thing that really works, the only security guarantee that works, is NATO's umbrella Kaja Kallas, High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy.
Analysts agree that NATO membership remains the strongest security guarantee for Ukraine.
Putin would have to think twice about restarting a war if he thinks the major Western powers are obligated to defend Ukraine. Of course, bringing Ukraine into NATO would put American and European skin and credibility in the game. That explains Trump's hesitation, even resistance to such a concept. Peter Roff, senior fellow and director of the Center on Europe and Eurasia at the Hudson Institute think tank, in an interview with Fox News.
The EU country willing to take the lead in providing security guarantees to Ukraine is likely to assume a dominant role in the region. Support for Ukraine within the EU remains stable, experts note.
Support for Ukraine hasn't changed. What has evolved is the understanding of how that support should be structured and its time frames. When we talk about specific countries like Hungary or Slovakia, their positions and visions for Ukraine's role might differ. But if we look at public opinion, it remains largely pro-Ukrainian, even in those countries.
French President Emmanuel Macron, after meeting with US President Donald Trump, called for building a lasting peace in Ukraine. Europe is prepared to offer Ukraine security guarantees, including the deployment of peacekeepers. As part of this initiative, France and the United Kingdom have developed a joint plan aimed at providing security guarantees for Ukraine. Reported by Serhiy Kulyas, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.